What was it?
What did I do? I didn't do anything interesting.
Oh, we were just supposed to walk at him there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We ready for this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right. 5, 4,
Four,
3,
three,
2,
two,
1.
one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Are you starting or you want me to do it?
I can start.
I got it.
We have the new wife of a previous guest.
Let me do a better intro. I got a better one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very typically when we do a podcast after a wedding, it is turmoil.
Yeah.
People are upset.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that's not the case with this one. We actually have the bride this time to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Which
keep us in line.
typically they're not happy with us,
Keep us in check.
and this proves that not the case.
Keep this train on the rails. You know.
Are you officially Sarah Pfeffer now?
No, not officially.
How does that work? Do you know when you get your name changed? Because you have to do that separately from the marriage, right?
Well, you see, I'm really lazy.
Oh, you get
and
get
I
right
have
to the mic.
anxiety. What?
Right into the mic.
Oh,
into the
yeah.
like this close?
also
Yeah, if you want,
also
yeah.
keep that hand
Okay.
down. You're going to blind the entire
Okay.
everybody watching.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're good.
I'm really lazy and I have anxiety, so I ordered this thing called like newly named,
Yeah.
and it's like a box where they literally print out everything I need to change my name. So I'm waiting for that to come in.
Yeah,
and
so you
then-
do have to do that differently.
Yeah. But
How long does that take?
I have no idea.
Hmm.
But I didn't want to do it before I left on my cruise because then they would it wouldn't match my identity.
You think that'd be quicker for me to change my name to James Pfeffer?
Yeah.
I
should
could do
probably
it.
do
I
that.
could do it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Just to really rub it in your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
So we're gonna walk through kind of like leading up to the whole day, what our place was it, and then we're gonna just like do any of the highlights. That's the game plan for this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off by saying I might have told you this already. You know, my like friend, close family friend. She's like my sister, Stephanie, Beth's older sister.
Yeah.
I told her, your worst nightmare situation for a wedding would be if I was to marry her and James was your husband's best man. That would be literally the number one worst thing that she could imagine for a wedding. You guys chose that willingly.
Yeah, giving us both free reins to say whatever we want.
Whatever we want. And that was... It wasn't like a backup choice. That was the first choice.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking.
Yeah. I mean, you were literally there for, like, that was the one thing that was certain in your guys' mind was that David was
That was
marrying
the
you guys.
only thing that Tyler Pfeffer could, like, lock in.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That was like
that-
the only thing that we had planned for the wedding for like a year and 6 months.
Do you know how much anxiety it had given me to do it?
No.
I knew that I had to do it. I mean, as soon as you told me, I wasn't going to say no, right? And I was like, okay, well, maybe by then, because you guys had told me like 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe by then I would have done stand-up enough times where I'd be comfortable in front of that amount of people. What instead happened is I did stand-up twice.
Bombed twice.
Both times.
Bombed
Had
both
extreme anxiety about it, and then a pandemic happened, so I never did it again. And I was like, "Well, here we go."
It's
Yeah.
funny that you say that because I literally didn't even think about that until
Yeah.
like the days leading up to the wedding.
Yeah.
I was like, up until that point, I was like, David's gonna be great. Like
Yeah.
he's so like charismatic. He's so funny. Like
Mhm.
it's gonna be fine. And then like when it came to like thinking about like the logistics like at the rehearsal and
Yeah.
stuff like that, I had started to like think about it a little bit deeper. And then I thought about the story that they told me about your first stand up.
Yeah.
How you totally
Well,
botched it, and I was like,
Mhm.
yeah. So how's this gonna work out? Because
Yeah.
I
Go
had
ahead.
told him to open with the, hey, does anybody else here hate veterans?
Do you know how
the
that
joke that
story
he
went?
started?
what?
So I wanted to tell a joke. The first joke I wanted to tell. Essentially, I was trying to get to a point where
He was upset with Thomas Rudder.
there's a parking spot. I just like thought parking spots are just interesting. At Best Buy, they had an expecting mother's parking spot, and
Yeah.
I was like, how can you prove that? How do you just not know she's like a fat woman? Like I just thought that was the funny thing. And there was also a parking spot at Applebee's for veterans, right? And I was like, I discredited Thomas in my head. I was like, okay, if any, like Thomas is barely a veteran.
Literally anybody can throw on a camouflage jacket.
How can this like random guy get this parking spot? So I started off the set by saying, does anyone else hate veterans? To like know nothing, and made me really uncomfortable. And then I just like
stage.
I like blacked out and then just started rambling, and then I just like ended it. And that whole day was I just planned on being Jackson and I doing it, like going.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, like Alec, Jay Kozak, Adam Mankey, and somebody else was like, they were like, we want to play like bags at your house, cornhole. Can we just come over? And like I just was like already just like in a trance, like I'm doing stand up, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, sure. And then everybody went to the stand up, and it was like, oh, this is like a nightmare scenario, and everybody just like ripped me apart. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And then I did it again 2 years later by myself. Similar experience. Nothing.
The rehearsal was a thing that also gave me anxiety about that guy, because during it, the entire time he had been saying, oh, I ripped 70% of the speech from your brother's wedding.
Yeah.
So I was like, 70%. I did the math in my head. He read off some of the stuff like at the rehearsal, and I was like, none of this is good.
None of this is funny.
This isn't funny at all. And this is at least 70% of it. Like, what is going on? And then also the only joke that he had told me, or like line, because I wanted it to be a surprise.
I told him my very first line.
Which was?
Because the day before, I've been practicing it so many times at this point that I was like, everybody welcome to like Tyler and today we're ready to celebrate Tyler and Sarah's wedding, or the only thing I've ever called them, Soko and Fef, right? I said that line because I had practiced it so many times, and I just was like, he didn't want to hear any of the speech because he wanted it to be surprised.
Yeah.
So I said that line jokingly, like I was gonna go into the whole thing, and then he just assumed there was no funny parts.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I assumed that it just wasn't. I was like, oh, he's just going for like the straight,
like just being an officiant.
I'm just an officiant now. This is my full time career.
Took it way too seriously.
Yes,
I'm going to be marrying people every single weekend. Zero. I don't even have to know them.
Anytime I would go to a wedding, my palms would get sweaty just watching an officiant. And that was for like 3 years. I would just get like like my chest would start to pound.
Because you were like, I have to do that.
I'm gonna have to do this. Yeah, I was just so in my head about it. And then, funny enough, Stephanie and Beth's uncle, he's a judge. He married. He's like a real. He can really do it. I mean, I can do it too now.
Yeah. Don't discredit yourself.
I know. But he told me just, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the people you're making. It's their day.
Yeah.
So if you just make it about them and just make it like, surround, and then that like relieved a lot of the tension for me.
Yeah.
And then as I like the weeks leading up, like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I started writing it, rewriting it, and then rereading it. By like the day of, I was definitely nervous, but like I was like, oh, I got it. It's fine. Yeah. It turned out well. It turned out okay.
He also saved my life because he was like, yeah, you should probably read your speech.
I had already read mine like 9 or 10 times.
Your speech?
Yeah, and the day of, I hadn't read it.
He hadn't read it once out loud.
So when I woke up in the morning, sat on the toilet, read it, got to like the first part where I bring up like the first time I met Tyler.
Yeah.
Started bawling. I was like, oh, this fucking sucks. I was like, I'm so glad that I did this. Did it like 4 more times, botched it. Also like fixed a couple lines. And then I was like able to get through it twice fully without like choking up or anything. I was like, thank fucking God. Because
that was my experience too. I read my vows out loud one time and I was already crying.
Yeah. Fef never tried his out loud. He never read
it out loud?
I was like, you're just going to raw dog it? Just going to go first time up there? And that's what happened.
Did he cry?
No, he wasn't really tearing up.
At the altar?
Was he?
No, he choked up at the altar.
Did he?
That was the thing that
I kept, to be honest, I blacked out up there.
He cried a lot more during our letters.
Sure.
Did he?
Yeah. So one thing you should know is we were like really nervous about like our vows and our letters, like one being like significantly better or like longer than the other. And so we kept like, we literally were like, what's your word count? Because I was like, I'm not trying to like read 3 pages and you say like a paragraph. So we tried to like match it like word count wise, and we were pretty close. but his letter was way better than my letter, and my vows. He's like, but your vows were better than my vows.
He just skimped out on you.
Okay.
Yeah, like yeah, we're good.
He just gave you a little taste of it.
Yeah.
But he also, I mean, that was the thing that he was most nervous about. He was like, I can tell this girl all the time how much I love her. Yeah. But then to do that in front of 250 people,
how many people were at the wedding?
225.
We're in the ceremony or the reception? What?
The reception. So it's probably more like 230 at the ceremony. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then the vendors on top of it,
I did not think about the amount of people going into it.
I did the entire time.
I never thought about the number once. I just kind of...
Yeah.
See, a best man speech, like, actually means nothing, like, to the wedding. But because of the amount of people that would come up to me, like, oh, I'm so excited to hear your speech, it just gave me anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Nonstop. People really hyped you up.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck?
What's really funny about that is that everybody went up to him and was like, you are going to do incredible. Yeah. I can't wait. It's going to be the funniest thing in the world. And when people would come up to me, they'd be like, yeah, dude, you'll be good. You'll be okay. Right?
Except
like,
for T-Voss.
So this is what really made me like everybody would come up to me and they were just trying to reassure me. They're like, yeah, you're going to do good. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be good. Right? Maybe it was the energy I was giving off that I was like, I wasn't nervous. I was never nervous. I was just like trying to be focused and like stay in the pocket. And everybody was reassuring. The only person who I felt like was really telling me how they felt was Tyler Voss. He was like, I'm having a panic attack thinking about you and James up there. He was like, James, like, the fact that he has to speak in front of all that people, that's like nerve-wracking enough. But like, you control the wedding.
You really got in your head.
And it made me feel better because he was the favorite person that anybody said. I like him being as nervous as he did, it relaxed me.
That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What had you the most nervous about the wedding?
Yeah, it was
Me?
Yeah.
On the rehearsal, Pfeff was super anxious. I mean, he's beating through his shirt.
So bad.
His shirt was sweating so much. You seemed less anxious.
Oh, that's surprising.
I thought that you guys were
I was
equally.
Have a panic attack.
On the rehearsal or on the day?
The rehearsal.
When she asked you if you wanted to go again and you were considering going a third time, I was like, man, she is really like stressed out about this.
Well, first of all,
we
had, like,
nailed it though.
5 million people, right? We had like 5 million people, and like you were like doing your thing, but then you kept saying Mr. and Mrs. Sokolowski, and I was like, he's gonna say it at the wedding.
Your dad wanted me to keep it in.
I know.
Yeah.
He told me, he was like,
I would have been pissed.
keep that line in.
No.
It's a good line.
There was just so much like logistical stuff and like that you guys didn't have to worry about, but I did because my timing of walking down the aisle had to be so like perfect.
Yeah.
And I we guys, it's all fun and
we
games,
nailed the
but
time.
I need to get this right.
Yeah.
So,
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
That's when David he said when he felt the most comfortable was when you
rounded the corner.
Oh really?
And then you like hit the timing right, and I was like, oh, we got it. It's done.
Yeah.
Because if the timing
was perfect.
Yeah. Then like when we hit the music cues properly, I was like, okay, it's just I gotta just do. I practiced it 4 times in the car before I even got to the wedding that day. So like I was like, I can't practice anymore. Like we got it.
That's kind of how I felt. Like I was like nervous about kind of everything, but then like when I was there, I was like, it's happening, so it's either gonna be shit or it's gonna be awesome, and either way, it's happening. So you might as well just chill about it. So
well, and that's what I always find funny is Pfeffer pointed out a very goofy thing that everybody goes up to like the bride and groom and go, "Are you nervous?" And I feel like so many people ask that in the wrong way because majority of people that get married, except for a select few that aren't that accustomed with each other, and then it turns out horrible. Usually people get married and they're already like pre-married. You and Tyler were already practically married for so long. So people ask it like, "Are you nervous to be married?" But like I mainly ask it like, "Oh, are you nervous?" Because I know just even standing up there, people aren't looking at me, but I'm sweating profusely because there's that many eyes. Like I know.
I mean, I used to be in the crowd getting sweaty watching the guys up there.
But it's like people always ask that, like, "Are you nervous to get married?" Which just makes no sense. Like if they were nervous to get married, they wouldn't be getting married.
It's not the marriage; it's just the logistics.
Yeah,
exactly. Or they would also ask us, "Are you excited?" Obviously.
Yeah.
Did you ever second guess the thoughts of me and him? It's like two
Never.
main players. I mean, it's literally the last thing Alex said to me before we went up there is I was reading the vow, like just going over it one more time, and he goes, "Why the fuck are you doing this? Like, why is this you?" And I was, it's literally like hilarious that it's me.
Yeah.
like
I
don't
never
understand.
second guessed it.
Yeah.
Because, like, even though you guys could be, like, on your most foolish behavior,
Yeah.
like, you know, bad behavior's your thing, like, you guys both love me and Tyler so much. I knew that you would never do anything to, like, jeopardize our happiness.
Mhm.
And I said the same thing about the bachelor party. Because I would tell, like, you know, people who didn't know, like, you guys as well, like, what you guys were up to or what you were doing. And they'd be like, you're letting that happen? Or, like, you think that's funny? And I'm like, these guys love me so much, like they would literally beat Tyler if he did anything to upset me, and you guys would never want to upset me. So
Yeah.
What's really funny about that bachelor party is that the group that we have, like I know we have like the horny boys in there, but those guys are all like single, right?
Yeah.
So those guys do that like that stuff,
right.
and then like the rest of us are really we're not like secretly trying to bang all these chicks or anything like that. We're really just about the goofs and the gas. We're about playing Danger Zone the club. We're about like getting wild and like doing really dumb things that make us laugh.
Doing exactly what we did at the wedding.
Yeah,
like,
literally the
just
same
dancing
thing.
nonstop and just like running around talking
And
to
laughing.
people. Laughing.
Yeah.
It was
So-
great. It embodied. It was like the perfect cap off. Like from the bachelor party to that, it was just like
It really
literally
was.
the like icing on top.
So once we started, I got the first laugh off the top. I was feeling good. Got through the thing. You guys went down. I pulled away. The pictures seemed. Did they
You
turn
did
out
not
well?
pull. You did not pull away fast enough.
Not
we
enough?
Just checked it.
Not enough.
I
thought
didn't
I
get
got
all the pictures, so I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like I
exactly,
didn't.
Yeah, you.
But, like,
I tried my best.
okay, but I love the one that like you're smiling and we're smiling and we didn't kiss yet. That one's perfect, but
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, you're still
I
fully
mean,
in
to
it.
be fair,
If we would have practiced
you
it,
don't
like,
know.
yeah,
Oh, you're looking at all the lanterns at your feet, so
yeah, it was. Well, I'll forever be in the wedding.
if I'm gonna have anyone
Yeah,
in the
sorry.
background of my like wedding portraits,
I didn't
it's
know
fine if it's you, I guess.
I didn't know how. Fuck. I
think
didn't know how much the
your
frame.
bald head probably
Yeah.
like reflected and gave us a little
God
bit more
damn
of a glow.
I tried my best.
We should have given out our sunglasses while you were up there though, because
So
a lot of people were complaining about their eyesight. Afterwards.
was it?
Really?
Yeah. Well, because
No.
of his bald head.
Oh, yeah.
The
yeah,
lighting
yeah,
was
yeah.
really fucked.
Relax.
Yeah.
So we end that. We get through it. Then we all do photos. We get to I'm gonna fast forward to the blue bat. So I'm done. My day's over. I can now get hammered.
Yeah.
And Brandon and James, I catch them, and I told them both. I was like, "Welcome to the fucking show." I set the bar, boys. Let's see what the fuck like you guys can. And I just like it. I felt the tension a little bit with those guys because they couldn't get hammered. I could. I was just so excited.
So loosely, because I went into it, I was like, I even told you, I was like, I'm not going to take any shots. I proceeded to take 8 shots on the bus the first time that we were on it. The first time that we were on it, I just kept on getting 1942 past me. I was like, what the
he
fuck?
kept taking drinks.
Yeah.
If nobody got sick, I mean, we were passing bottles around and nobody got sick. That's pretty impressive.
I think that it's because also the amount of sweat that there was. That
Oh,
we just,
good.
Like, sweated out
Yeah, that's
instantly.
true. I was really disappointed on the way back that we didn't do a swig and pass.
Oh,
Well,
again, like 4 people couldn't. I guess we could have done. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Nobody wanted to do it, I guess.
so we swigged and passed on the way there.
Yeah, we
with that
did.
whiskey, but the issue was the only things that we had to take like shots of. Even though like I asked all the groomsmen, I was like, hey, like I got the seltzers. Can you guys like, if you want like to take shots, grab like a bottle. Because also in my mind, I was like, I'm not taking shots. So Brandon got the whiskey thing, and then Alec got 1942, which don't get me wrong, great bottle, nice expensive bottle, not really a swig and pass bottle.
Were you,
Even though we were swig and passing it a little bit.
I mean,
after the ceremony, were you nervous anymore? Were the nerves done? Because that's pretty much all you had left except for the dances, right? I think, and the pictures.
Yeah, no, I wasn't nervous anymore. I was just kind of like nervous about like people stopping me and talking to me because I was like, I want to like
Party
and like do things and like talk to more than just one person.
Mm-hmm.
So like that kind of gave me a little bit of anxiety, but then as soon as I started drinking champagne,
fuck it.
But people were pretty good about it though.
Yeah.
There wasn't anyone who was like cornering me.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best part, was like we were just talking about this, how like everybody was able to talk to like everybody. Like I feel like I spent at least like 10 minutes to 15 minutes talking with like everybody.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't all in one point.
Right.
Like I'd come back. Okay, I'm back now.
Yeah.
Finish off our conversation. There was one time where a song came on. I can't even remember the song because I was pretty fucked up. I was in like a actual conversation. I was interested in the conversation even. Did not want to leave it. Yeah. Heard the song come on. I said, hey, I'd love to have this conversation with you, but I got to go.
I literally said that so many times. And Tyler did too.
Yeah, that was a direct quote of mine as well. Like, you know what? I'll talk to you later. I got to go dance my fucking ass off. Yeah. I got to make a move.
And somebody stopped me.
Although I couldn't find you during both of the JT songs.
You know what? That was the biggest issue for the wedding, is that too many people I didn't get to see for so often would be there.
That's fair.
Like, it was like as soon as I would find somebody, I'd be like, hey, what's going on? I'd talk to them for 15 minutes, run into another person, and then all of a sudden the wedding's over.
It was like one big fat reunion. That was the issue.
I mean, like, it would be from like Chelsea and Zach, or like Paige and Travis. Mm-hmm. I mean, Travis is a great story for you. Is the last time I'd seen him was at Chelsea's wedding.
Yeah.
And we got hammered together. By the end of the night, he's
talking about Paige's Travis.
Yes, sorry, Paige's Travis.
Oh, okay.
Paige's Travis. And I was like, dude, shave that fucking head. Like, get rid of that hair. Because anytime I see a bald guy hanging on,
you feel like you need to.
I feel like I gotta he was like, I know, like I just can't. And I was like, yes, you can't. Like, you'd look so much
like the poster child for baldness.
And I was like, really, I was like, you'd look so good. Like he was basically in tears by the end of the conversation because he was like, I want to. I just don't know if I can. I was like, you can do it. Your wedding. He goes, huh? And I go, dude, your head is sick. It was the first thing he said. I mean, he looks great. I went to Paige and I was like, he looks amazing. And she's like, so handsome, right? I was like, he's great. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like things like that. Like I'd run into, and then it's like the next person, and then you miss the Justin Timberlake song. And
so, when are you gonna work on Brandon Wilbrandt then?
You don't think I've been working?
Come on.
How often do I tell him?
Every single time. Literally every time.
Constantly. I told him to do it before Austin so that his head would like get a tan.
I mean, he's another case. We're not gonna dive into it. He's not gonna. He'll do it when he's gonna do it. I mean, he'll get around to it. When do the nerves go away for you, big guy?
Me?
Because they must have continued on for the next hour and a half.
It was
2
literally
hours.
the speech. I mean, even during the speech, midway through, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to pass out." I was like, "I'm fully going to pass out." The last speech that I told you this before I went up, and you were like, "I didn't even think of that." I was like, "The last speech that I did was about how soccer's better than football." In high school.
Right, in high school.
And that's the first time I had done public speaking
in front of people like that.
And I didn't do good at it.
Yeah.
Like I botched it because like it just
was something that I didn't like. Different because it's like you don't have to stick to a script.
Oh yeah. I mean
you kind of did because otherwise you'd pull out some racial slurs.
Yeah.
I
you kind of did have to stick to your script.
Well, so my opening line was I want to run these two. I had debated on two different lines. One of them, I know that you're going like way less than the other one, and I didn't use that one. The first one is the one that I used, which was, hey, sorry if I seem a little bit nervous. I'm not used to this many people looking at me unless I'm singing Dreams and Nightmares or have my genitals stuck between my legs. Yeah. That's what I used. My other one that I was going to use was, hey, sorry if I seem emotional during this. It's not because of the wedding at all. It's because of Roe versus Wade getting overturned. And I wanted to use that one. But I didn't know how that one would turn out.
You think that would have been better or no?
You think that would have been more funny?
I don't know. It's a tough crowd.
I know. There was
I mean, that's
when
the better line.
When you said genitals, though, I looked up. I said, did he just say genitals?
Well, because at first I had dick and balls. And then I was like, you know, I know that one grandma would really like it. I know that Grandma Pfeffer would have loved that.
Yeah.
She got really mad at me because I went up to her and, you know, I was like, hey, and she was like, get the fuck out, and she waved me in to give her a hug. But yeah, no, I said genitals, changed it from dick and balls. Also had to remove my my other joke that I ran past you.
I have not been talking to him about his speech completely as much as I wanted to because I've been saving it for this. So we haven't really talked about it at all.
Yes.
I liked that. It was good. He did well. What I liked is the conversations people would tell me to like, because it was like some people would like one aspect of the speech or some people would like other aspects, right? Like, for example, somebody was like, too many suicide jokes, right? And then another person would be like, I actually thought it wasn't enough. Yeah. That person was me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like those are little callback, like drowning yourself in the sink, right?
Yes.
That was, that's like an old time joke from like back in like 8th grade, right? So
yes.
I was like, that's fun, you know, give one to the St. Francis kids. What was the other one? Like
I tweeted about how I don't want to be around anymore.
Oh, that's what it was.
Then Tyler called everybody. I mean, that had like a sentimental purpose behind it because he genuinely cared.
That's what it was. I couldn't remember.
I like that because I could tell it was like
I don't want to be around
serious
anymore.
at heart, but you were like making fun of it.
Yeah.
But what you really should have talked about was when you try to sell yourself on the street.
That's a good one.
That one's pretty good. I mean, then it just would have. It was very funny because when Brandon first showed me his speech, he starts it off with. For you guys that don't know me, I'm Brandon. But today's not about me. It's about Tyler and Sarah. And I said, man, we went 2 different routes with our speeches. I was like, mine's just about, I barely bring those clowns up.
Yeah.
The other part that people were like mixed on is the dreams and nightmares part.
Yes.
Some people liked it. Some people hated it.
Really?
I mean, the whole thing just felt you to me. So I just liked that it was just you. Yeah. I just enjoyed watching you do well. You know, I didn't have any critiques. Like I wasn't. Maybe there's a couple words I would change, but like it's, you know, you did good. You and I did good. You know, I'm just glad everything went well. You know, it wasn't like
What did they not like about the dreams and nightmares?
I don't know. I just think somebody was like, I didn't like that he did it.
No. And
then somebody was like, no, I think Tyler B was like, I like that he did it.
I was very bummed about it because I talked to the DJ. I was like, hey, can you play an instrumental starting at like 1:38? And I was like,
he dropped the ball.
I was like, yeah, drop the ball. And I was like, I was also like, I'm going to drop the mic. And he was like, please don't drop the mic, which is what DJs always do.
Like,
it's like,
sir, that'll be $500.
Yeah. He was like, this is like a 2,000. And I was like, hey, when somebody said drop the mic, that's not a literal sense. I was like, I'm going to put down my microphone and act like it's done. It's going to seem like the speech is done. Play the instrumental. It starts at 1:38 and like add the time for him. He's like, I got you.
And he just didn't.
And he even said beforehand, I was like, you got it? And he was like, yeah, I got it. He didn't.
Why? What happened? Why didn't he play it?
I don't know. And also, what I do regret was that I wish that I would have handed off the microphone to you guys and then done it. So that way I didn't have the microphone.
Oh my God.
Because if I would have just...
Because he wanted to go crazy.
I wanted to go crazy with it.
With the dreams and nightmares.
But because of the microphone, I was like, I'm going to blow...
It was too amplified?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to blow everybody's fucking ears out. Like, if I just scream into this microphone...
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I feel like if you would have done it without the microphone, though, people would have been like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Because they would have turned their attention too much.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
People might have been like... Oh, is he a maniac? Like, is he unhinged up there?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely supposed to be done. I mean, if they would have had the instrumental and I let it play for a bit and then I went in, it would have been better. But yeah, he botched it. I was so bummed.
I loved everything about it because it was just completely unhinged.
Yeah.
Like, what more can I ask for?
I thought it was in my pocket, though. Although it's unhinged, I was like, that's in my pocket.
Well, yeah. But, like, to, like, the general public.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what we expect from you, so I guess we can't really say it's unhinged, but, like, to the average folk.
See, and while I was writing it, I was like, man, this is way more sentimental than I thought people would think that my speech would be.
What's really funny is he was like, he told me, he's like, you try to guess where, like, he got emotional when reading it back. And I was like, dude, none of it. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's even talking about. And then for the only person I went over my speech was Elizabeth, right? And she kept getting hung up on a specific part of my speech, right?
And he gave me,
and
he proposed the same question to me.
I said, you guess what it is. And what did you guess?
Oh, I thought it was the Alec thing. Because I figured she was like, oh, that's too mean to say about somebody. So I thought that it was the Alec.
So the person who I said it next to was your brother Michael, and he goes, "It's the part when you say you don't know anything about love." Michael like nailed it, right? And I said, "On the dot, Michael." Like he just get it because he's a married man.
Yeah,
he gets
he knows.
it.
He knows.
He understands, and because so I wrote the line, right? It was really it's just a joke to me to like say like, what do I know about love? I said honestly like not a lot, because I just think like, what does a 26-year-old really know? Yeah. And it's like it's quick. It was just to get to the point.
One of them knew enough to marry this lady right here. All right.
It was just.
But I think that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
It's just it's the fact that like I'm up there. It doesn't make any sense. And then also like I was just trying to say that I know you guys are in love with each other.
Yeah.
To get to that. But Elizabeth is like, you don't know anything about love. Like,
oh no,
which is very funny because
go ahead.
Right before this, you brought it up as well.
Yes.
And I immediately go, am I the only person that didn't get that? I guess I'm just oblivious.
That
but
you,
I
like,
also
didn't
have never
catch the joke.
No, I just didn't catch why that would be the one that she would be caught up on.
She also because the line.
Well, I guess it makes sense because I've never been in love.
The line is like I said, you know it when you feel it, and that couldn't be more true than with you two. And she's like, what does that even mean? And it was like people will understand. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, people will just understand the sentiment, right? Like, they'll just feel like that you guys love each other very much. That's essentially what I'm trying to say, right? And once I talked to her, she's like, all right, you can keep the line. Like, it's fine. Yeah, she liked it. It's fine.
Was she like, but do you love me, though?
She changed the line to make it better.
Oh, good.
Because it used to be, honestly, not a lot. That's what do I know about love? Honestly, not a lot. And then she changed it to be, what do I know about love? Not a thing.
Whoa! So she went even more extreme.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah. She made
said, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it right.
she made it better. She just ad-libbed it, and and it made me laugh. And I was like, I'm saying that now.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, don't do that. I was like, no, that's it.
That's also better because of the way that you say thing as well.
Yeah,
like
she that was her. Yeah, so she came up with that. And that it made it better. So that's like, sometimes when there's conflict, it gets into the better place.
Yeah.
I didn't expect my line. I thought I just wanted to point out how crazy it was to have 20 people up there. Like when we were there. So when I was like, probably too many people.
Yeah.
Like, and I got hung up on this part. I was second guessing myself because the night before, I'm not going to name any names for this one. I'm not trying to get in trouble. But somebody was speaking at another wedding, and they were just like, yeah, we're going to have to do at the next wedding because these guys are going to clearly get divorced. Like, it was just like implying that the first marriage is a failure. He was speaking at the wedding, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, ugh, like, why would you say that? Just he like bombed, right? So I had a similar line when I said, at the next wedding, at the next one we do at these things, I was not trying to imply. I didn't want people to
our next wedding,
right?
Like,
I didn't want to like.
Yeah.
So I got hung up on that part, but it was really just to like say there's a lot of people up here, and at the next wedding we're gonna have to make some cuts. Maybe Alec, like something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be as big of a hit as it was, and then I wanted to also rag on a girl. So when everybody's laughing, I also say like, or maybe Haley Fueling, but nobody hears that.
No one heard that part?
Not at all.
I didn't hear that part.
So I was like, oh fuck. Well, at least the Alec one was a big like laugh.
Yeah.
I threw it in there.
That was the perfect person.
Elizabeth heard it. She heard me because I said the speech to her many times, so she knew.
So she knew what you were
She knew it was coming, but nobody heard that part. Haley didn't hear it. But everybody liked me ragging on Alec, so
I love that. Can we talk about too, like the crowd in general? Like they were just like clapping and cheering,
ready
like it was a freaking football game. I was like,
In terms, which I like though, because even before we went out there, I gave the groomsmen a breakdown speech. I was like, we got to go out there and fucking hit them in the goddamn mouth. They don't think we're shit. We're going to fucking show them.
And Tommy Boy ended it by saying like, guys want to fuck us and girls want to be us.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it was good. It pumped us up.
And then we said "Fef" on 3, 1, 2, 3, Fef.
We broke it down. Your brother. It's funny to like look at your brother in the shit. Like
yeah.
It's because Mike. I don't know Michael well, right? And we're a loud, rambunctious group.
He's the polar opposite of you.
And
guys.
to see him in it and like just screaming with everybody,
Aww.
I was like, that's hilarious.
He really showed up and showed up. It's funny that you say that
Yeah.
too, because the night before when you guys were all over there, I was like, Michael, are you gonna go over there? And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, well, is David gonna be there? And I
he
said,
asked for me?
Yeah. And
Oh,
he was
that's
like, okay,
nice.
sick. And I was like, yeah.
I don't know Michael well, but I do like him.
Yeah. I think
I-
the feeling's mutual.
He threw me under the bus a little bit. I thought he was gonna have my back. We were watching the UFC fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might know this too. Apparently, everybody knows this. So,
Wait. Let's just ask you this: what do you think goes on in a kickboxing match? Not UFC, kickboxing.
Like, what do they do?
Yeah, what do they do
Yeah.
in total?
Well, I know they
it's
like,
okay if
they
you
like
don't know.
wrap their legs around each other and stuff like that?
Well, that's UFC.
Oh, then I
So-
don't know.
Perfect.
They punch? They only kick? Do they only kick?
No,
So-
no, but
Okay,
that
I don't
if somebody thought that they only kicked, would you think that's crazy?
I'd be indifferent. I'd be like, I don't know if I believe that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
Then you're on my side.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So, when a kickboxer comes from kickboxing, that
Yeah.
realm of sport, into MMA or UFC, MMA is a complete encapsulate of fighting.
Yeah,
It's
you're able to choke
do
people.
what it's essentially do whatever you want.
You can wrestle.
You know how boxing you can only use your hands, or karate is like that. It's a specific.
Sure.
UFC is everything. So when kickboxers come over, they tend to be good strikers, which means they're good at punching people, directly punching people in the face.
So David,
And I was like, it's weird that happens because they come from kickboxing. I literally thought kickboxing was just guys tying their hands behind their back and kicking each other. That's what I thought it was.
yeah,
And I was like, because they only use their legs in kickboxing, so I don't get why they're good with their fists all of a sudden. And then somebody was like, wait, do you think kickboxing is
I
just
laughed.
kicking?
No, I screamed of laughter in his face, and I said, "There's no fucking way that you believe that they only kick each other." And he goes, "Do they not?" And then
Yeah.
everybody,
amazing.
Everybody's laughing, right? Michael's laughing in the corner, and I'm going around the room, and I'm like, "You thought that you?" And I was like, "Michael, you thought that you knew that you knew what kickboxing was?" And he was like, "Yeah, I knew what kickboxing was." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Michael had my back here.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's a little tangent about your brother.
I love that.
yeah, that was the day
That's
before
great.
when we were watching the fights. It was very good. I cried of laughter
I'm-
in his face.
Trying to
Well,
think.
his wife also was, texting Michael.
Yes.
And she said, he was like, oh, I'm going to go to bed after this fight. And she was like, fight? And he was like, yeah, I'm fighting Tyler. So I thought that was kind of goofy,
Well, we
too.
did try to get a fighting ring going. We were going to do me, Big Trev, and I forgot who the other. I think Rob Hav versus Nikki Pfeff in a tornado tag team match. We were all just going to beat the shit out of them, and then we also wanted to get David versus Tyler.
You should do that, but maybe not the night before our wedding.
Just beat the shit out of
But
Nikki.
yeah, you should.
I think that's it on the speeches. Is there anything else you want to talk about? No, we can get to the meat of the night. Any random things that came up?
Do you have a favorite portion? Because I have a favorite
Portion
specific part of the night. Do you have a
Specific part of the
I
night?
guess it's hard to ask.
Oh, you know what? You
The
know what we
ride.
you know what we
Yeah.
didn't ask?
Hmm.
We'll put you on the spot. Who do you think did better, him or I? His best man speech or my officiating? And that's okay. Be honest, because we
I feel like
already
that's
have
apples to oranges.
we
though.
already have a consensus of who did better. We already have our minds made up, so you won't change our opinion.
I feel like it's apples to oranges, though.
It's okay. You can be mean.
We'll
come back.
I
It's
agree
not-
with you.
It's not comparable. They're two different things.
You're right. They are two different
You're
things.
also probably the worst person to ask on it because as far as
Literally the worst.
the best speech is obviously David for you because he consummated or not consummated. That's not the right word. He made you guys have sex in front
Oh
of
my
everybody.
God.
No, but he officiated the wedding, so
Yeah.
obviously that is the most special thing in your heart. But yeah, both him and I agreed that his speech was better. But I also said the same thing where it's not very comparable because
You also don't have to answer. It's fine.
Like,
this is just our opinion now.
There's a reason why it's so good too, is because I said this, like, it was my favorite ceremony because it was also short, sweet, to the point, and like with the touch of like comedy that he brought to it, it was like
it was perfect.
A breath of fresh air. So therefore, it's just that. Whereas like then you also get like a best man speech, and like it is like what it is. It's supposed to be a little bit.
It's supposed to a little be funny. It's a little sentimental.
With that being said, now that you understand, I will say David.
Oh wow,
but
thank you.
Yeah.
That's
you didn't have
because
to answer.
like exactly what you said. It was like
I
more
was
sentimental.
fishing.
You know, there's one thing that I feel like that you should have included in your speech though.
What is that?
Cause like I feel like cause the whole unicorn birthday thing, like that was kind of like how we first connected.
Wait, I don't know what that is.
So like way back in the day, he used to like draw people like unicorns, and they were like labeled, and it would be like, oh, your unicorn has a taco, and he would give it to the people for their birthdays. I don't know.
Yeah, something that's okay.
Well, it was just one party. It was Taylor's birthday party. It was the first time that her and I.
Well, and I said
up.
I wanted one.
Yeah, and then you wanted one.
Yeah.
So I drew you
because I'm
one.
spoiled, and if someone else is getting attention and gifts, I want it too.
Yeah.
And so I said I want that, and you were like, okay, and I was like, bet, and then you gave me one. Yeah. But that's not what I think about when I think about like when we first connected. I think, well, I guess it is kind of when we first became friends. Mm-hmm. But when I think about like me, you, and Tyler, I think about that night after FBLA. We were in Brandon's basement, and like I can literally picture it. Like you guys are like all on Brandon's bed, and I like think I came down to get a soda or something. You know, probably a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Will Brands be having them?
Oh yeah, they crank those out.
Yeah. And
I can talk about some Mountain Dews there, but go ahead.
You said something to me, and like you called me like princess or something like that.
Oh, I do.
And then Tyler was like, or you called me Boo or something like that. You're like,
no, I
boo.
think it was princess.
And then Tyler was like, well, can I be your prince or something? Like he chimed in on you macking on me, and he was like, I want some of that.
Really?
And then after that night, he got my number.
That's really.
Yes.
I mean, I remember I brought it up in my speech is the most. I didn't go into it as much. This guy made fun of it where he does the absolutely not.
I said I'll say what it was. Because this is true. That's not coming like that's not a fake thing. When Pfeff, he was like, I think I'm gonna ask out Sarah, and I had thought of you as an entity, like as a person, because you were 2 years younger than us. You were a freshman. I was like, this is a cute girl. Like you were on the radar in my mind. I was like, I know who you are, without him bringing you.
And what did you think of Pfeffer? If she's a cute girl, what did you think of Pfeffer?
Disgusting.
Because
at the time he had never like been in like a relationship really, and I just like when you're that young and your friends aren't really with girls, you're like it'll never happen. So he was like, I'm gonna ask her out, and I really was like, there is literally no chance that that's gonna work out at all.
Yeah.
And I think obviously it worked out, and you guys got married. Did he ask you out by like carving it into like a chocolate bar? Was it something like that?
No.
How did he ask you out?
Are you thinking of chocolate because he used to buy me Milky Ways? Like he was just like straight up buying my love.
Maybe it was. I can't remember.
He was working at Walgreens all the time, so he would just buy me candy all the time.
Like
and I was
big
like,
candy
this
bars?
Is sweet.
Nothing like that?
What?
I'm glad I didn't bring that up into the speech.
Because it would have been completely inaccurate. No, he asked because like one of our first dates was fishing, and like we were like really yee back then. Like
what does that mean?
Like a country.
Oh
like
right.
On my birthday before we were dating, he bought me a camo hat.
Yeah, I remember that era.
And a bag of Milky Ways, and I was like, I'm gonna marry this man.
Yeah, we're in love.
But no, he asked me out we were on our way to a bonfire, and he was in the Starbucks drive-thru. Insisted I got a venti. I was like, I have never had a venti frappuccino. I can't drink all of this.
Yeah.
And then he told me to look into the glove box, and he got me like fishing supplies because he said he was going to.
Yeah.
And it was actually like fishing stuff, but then on the bobbers.
Oh, I remember the picture.
Will you be my girlfriend? And that's actually how he asked me to marry him too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That'll make me cry.
Well, he handed me a box, and it was from our jeweler, and inside the box, it had a bobber that said, will you marry me?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And, like, everyone was like,
that.
Ew, like, people thought it was cheesy, but I was like, that's sweet, because he asked me that way, like, 9 years ago, so.
Well, I'm going to have to steal that. Maybe I'll take a bobber and ask Elizabeth to marry me like that.
So, following up on his thing where he, like, goes, not a chance.
Yeah.
Is I was going to go into that phone conversation because I do remember it very well. Him and I were walking around Brandon's house, and I remember just like pretty much telling you like, thanks for giving Tyler a chance and stuff like that. As if like you were just throwing a dog a bone with Tyler. And I was going to go into that more. Then I was like, then I just feel like I'm ragging on Tyler too much for it.
It's kind of funny though, because I feel like that was a lot of people's sentiment. They were
definitely
like,
at the
when
time.
I was like, I didn't. I was like, he was like one of my first like boyfriends too, and I wasn't sure if I should say yes or not. And
not to this fucking loser.
Yeah, not to this fucking
and I just
dork.
remember him being like, "Oh, why not? Give him a chance. Give him a chance." And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, and I remember like
works.
telling you like, "Oh, thanks for giving him a chance," and stuff like that.
I mean,
everybody's
everybody
acting like he's a charity case.
Yeah,
I know.
which is very funny to think about. And I had like a joke about that, but then I couldn't get it to not come off too rambly.
Yeah.
So I couldn't like.
That's fair.
Get it down. So then I just left it as it was. Made a little concussion
I think
joke.
that's the hardest thing about speaking in front of people is like, how do you take everything that you want to say and like make
not
it actually
ramble.
sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like me and Tyler had that issue too, because it's like, how do you fit that into a paragraph?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
And also by cutting out like all the cliches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like
the one thing
hard.
I didn't like about the ceremony is I literally cannot remember a word that you or Fef said.
Really?
Because I was so like focused
no,
in like, okay, because when you guys were done, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, then say this part and then do this part and then like let them go, because like I was just, don't fuck up.
Well, did you hear my two jokes?
No,
Well,
I didn't hear any of it. I can't remember any of it.
I opened with, you asked me to be your girlfriend 9 years ago.
I remember
and
saying that
since that
because I said
point-
about a decade ago or something. I said in
Yeah.
2012.
Since then, we've had this ongoing joke that other people probably didn't think was as funny as we thought it was. And then I like paused and looked at Keith and Peggy, which
Yeah.
was funny. And then essentially what I said was like, we used to say like, oh, after my birthday, I'm going to dump you. And then after Christmas, I'm going to dump you because I'll have my presents. Oh, but then there's Valentine's Day. And then I want my Valentine's Day present.
And, then
And like, that's legit. For years, we had that ongoing joke. And then I like turned it into like, essentially that meant forever for us.
Yeah.
Which
just get to the next holiday.
Yeah.
Which is every holiday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah. And then my other
I
one
don't
was,
remember. No, I just was blacked out.
I do. That was the part during your speech when you said, and that's until it became forever. I was like, oh, and I went like this. It's an age old trick.
I was
it's an
proud
age
of
old
that.
trick.
I was proud of that.
Just look up and the tears don't come out.
I feel like everybody had such a good amount of humor too, because like then I got serious from there, and then like I threw in at the end too, like I promised to always put your socks on, because that fucker always makes me put his socks on like he's a baby.
Yeah,
and
he is one of the biggest babies that we know.
He's a big baby.
He is a person that just needs things. He's a person that has a lot of tasks, but he also has to get cared for.
Oh yeah. But then I said, but I can't promise that we won't argue every time we get in a canoe, because every time we go to Joey and Melissa's and land up north, we almost get divorced every time we get in a canoe.
Well, now it's going to be divorce.
Yes. So then only Joey and Melissa really got that.
Yeah.
But it was funny to me, so I had to put it in there.
We have about like 15-ish minutes left till we finish this. So let's crank towards the end, like through the middle chunks. The food is great. Double B's is like a huge hit.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Oh,
The best part about that was everyone
it,
would be like, Soko.
Yeah, I know.
Like that with the food, like across the room.
How was it at the end of the night getting thrown up in the air and just getting carried?
I fucking loved it.
What song were we doing it to?
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
Oh, was it Danger Zone?
Yes.
The past couple days, all Tyler and I have said was, I was in the air.
Yeah.
I was in the air. It was awesome.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, because I was the one that was like, go grab Tyler, throw him in the air.
Yeah.
And then when we put him down, I was like, find Sarah right now. We're throwing her up. Because I knew how much it was amazing to be in the air.
It was so fun.
They lifted me in the air. And after I got lifted in the air, I kind of felt bad for Tyler, because people started congratulating me on the boat. Like, congrats, you're going to be so happy. And they were like, congrats. And I would say thank you. And they'd go, oh, when are you getting married? I go, I have no idea. But being in the air feels great.
In the video of you getting carried, right?
Yeah.
I remember being there, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I wasn't in the crowd. I was just I was watching, right? And watching the video back, it's so funny because it's all the fellas, it's all the guys, right? And my dad in there just
Really? I didn't even notice that.
My dad's in there
Big
too.
Dave was really in there.
Yeah.
My dad and mom had such a good time at the wedding. Yeah, they had a blast, and it just seemed like everybody there it seemed like everybody was ready to like goof and gaff. You know?
Yeah, and like I just feel like as the night progressed, the darker it got outside,
The more clothes
everyone
came off,
just got like
shirts off.
the bad behavior really came out. The shirts were off. I had 4 ties around my neck.
Yeah.
Everyone was so sweaty.
It was very funny. I saw you with Tyler's
Yeah.
tie on, and I go, here you go.
Yeah.
And I put it on you.
Yeah, everyone's like, here's another one. I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah, we talked about how much we loved the tarps off, vests on, because it was just.
Did your dad
I've
do
never
it too?
been so sweaty.
No, he didn't?
No.
I-
But you want to know my favorite part of all of that was? Oh, Yogi wouldn't take his
Oh
tarp
yeah.
off.
Yes.
Can I tell that story?
Oh, please do.
So, one of our friends, Yogi, was looking for a shirt.
for months.
For I mean,
Years,
maybe a
practically.
decade. He finally it had. I'm just gonna say he's a big boned guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Fluffy.
Well, it wasn't even that. He would consistently, like, I'm not kidding, for like the last couple of
find
months,
a shirt.
He'd go, I've never been to like a wedding. I don't know what to wear to a
Oh.
wedding. And so he was like I need and he kept on begging people to go with him to like pick out an outfit because he just
Yeah.
never had a wedding outfit. Continue.
So he finally got this shirt. Maybe he spent like $40, $50 on it. And he's like, got it, ready to go.
Bow tie.
And as the lights went down, it got darker and darker. Shirts went off. They were like, take it off, get the shirt off. And fellas broke it. They just ripped it. It was just not completely ruined, but it's definitely no good. And then Yogi was like, they ruined my shirt, Sarah. And Sarah was just like, and just ripped the rest of it off.
No, he goes, Sarah, look at what they did. And I looked him dead in the eyes and I ripped the rest. And he goes, Sarah. And I said it had to be done.
I heard that you ripped his undershirt.
I did.
It
was all that was left.
I heard that the main shirt was ripped off. He was so sad about his main shirt being ripped. And you're like, bring those titties out.
Oh, and then I also heard he whipped a titty on someone too.
Another good Yogi story there is half the people know what's being chanted. The half people are just chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just start hearing it, pull it out.
Everybody's saying pull it out. And I'm like, oh, they got a gift for Sarah and Tyler.
Oh my
And it's just about Yogi's cock because it got leaked on the internet. We just got, and this was before we even had dinner.
Yeah.
We're chanting, pull it out.
Pull it out.
We told
Even
that story
parents are
last
like-
week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go back and listen.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
but
they wanna
did
hear
you
it.
include the part where I said, but why wasn't I included? I said I feel left out.
Because you didn't get
I
the
didn't
dick
get
pic.
it.
You didn't get the
I didn't
DM.
get it. I felt really sad.
Yeah, I was bummed that I didn't get the DM.
Yeah.
So I had to proceed to DM all of his friends as well.
Is there anything else? The cigars were a big hit.
Cigars were good.
Uh,
I have my favorite moment of the night, most sentimental. You already know this. I brought it up to you. I don't know if I brought this up to David even, but prior to your guys' wedding, Tyler had showed me your guys' wedding song, and we sat outside and listened to
Yeah.
it, and I was like, I love that song. Play it again. And we listened to it, and we listened to it quite a bit for that week that we were hanging out, and I was like, oh, I love this song, and it obviously is a special song for you guys.
Yeah.
And then when it came on, I'm just so enamored because I love first dances, and then my two favorite people dancing even better. So I love that there's 2 videos. One of me just smiling ear to ear at you guys, just watching you. And then I brought this up how my favorite part is that midway through when it got to the chorus, I start singing. And then you look over and you see me and you tilt your head and smile really big. And then you kind of tell Tyler what's going on.
Yeah.
And there's literally a video of you noticing it and all that happening on somebody's Instagram story.
Yeah.
And I love that. That was my favorite part of the
I
night.
love that got captured because I
In
was
2
like,
ways.
it was exactly what was happening. It was so cute.
It was great.
I also have it in my brain. I have parts of the wedding where I remember really well. And
Yeah.
I remember like looking past Tyler and I looked at you like during like us at the altar and you just were smiling so big and it was so sweet. I loved it so much. It was just like nice that like, because we're all just like goofy people and like for one day to like actually be like, okay, but like actually I do love you.
Yeah.
Like when all the guys hugged me after the ceremony and stuff like that, like it was nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm like back to our regularly scheduled program,
right?
Where we just like rip on each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like let's get back to that, but it was it was nice.
It was good for a night.
Yeah, it was good for a night.
It was very, very sweet, and yeah, I mean everybody was so happy. It was, speaking of like how nervous I was for the like speech and stuff, it was very funny during the ceremony. People afterwards were like, "You did a good job." I was like, "I didn't do shit up there."
Yeah, I just stood there.
It was like I just stood up there, and then somebody,
But you did have to pull the
ring.
rings.
I literally had 2 people say that to me, and I was like, I just stood there, and they're like, "Well, you look good." You look good.
There was no part for the best man to give the rings in, so I just threw that part into the speech.
Ooh, yeah.
So I added him into the ceremony to be like a pivotal part, which is just handing the rings. And it's just because I took that from Beth.
Oh, I guess I did do that one thing.
Yeah, you pulled out the rings. I took that from Beth and Tyler's wedding because Zach gave the rings to Tyler Rogney. I'm trying to think if there's
Wait, did you guys know that prior that I was going to be holding the rings?
Yeah, we practiced it at the rehearsal.
Well, before the rehearsal, or was that came up with at the
No,
rehearsal?
I just always knew you were going to.
Oh, it was very goofy because I was.
He found out at the rehearsal.
I found out at the rehearsal.
Well, that's usually what the person closest to the groom does.
Well, yeah, it makes sense now.
Or
But
like
then
the ring bearers.
It started stressing me out though
we didn't have
because
that.
when I had the jacket on, I put it in there and I was like, I can't reach to that pocket. That's why during it, I think that Tyler didn't notice it. I know for sure because he was like shaking because he was just like, he was all worked up and stuff. But during it, I go, and I like went to go grab it. And it, although it was like over exaggerated and I played into it, it genuinely was very hard to reach over.
Mostly serious.
Yeah, I was like, I could not get these rings out. I don't know how I will. But
we all look so damn good, but we were all so uncomfortable. I have bruises on my body from my dress.
Everybody was complaining the whole time. It makes sense. One of our biggest friends, Trevor, just like he couldn't move at all. His entire body. I mean, he's 6 foot like 5, 260s, 270.
Yeah, the people at Du Bois were like, this is the biggest guy I've ever seen.
So
they're like, how does he get any clothes?
Oh.
My proportions have always been fine. Whenever I get the suit, it always like I've had like 7 rentals. I've never had an issue.
Dude, I'm sick of skinny privilege.
It just like happens. I was great. I know.
So I was gonna say, did you have any issues?
No issues whatsoever.
The most annoying part about that is they like kind of talked us into those suits. Like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. If that's a color you want, like it'll be fine. Like they can just size up. And then I don't know who it was. They came. I think it was my brother. Came back and they were like, "Yeah, we discontinued those suits because they suck and they never fit." I'm like,
"Who
said
that?
Been nice to know."
Who said that?
The people at the suit rental place.
Oh yeah, fuck them.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, and then like you also can't just like. I got to a point where I couldn't because of my shoulders.
Yeah.
If I would have sized up again, I would have went to modern fit, which would have been 6 sizes bigger than what I wore.
Yeah.
Of a modern fit at Beth and Tyler's.
Yeah.
But they also don't. Anything below that they don't have in modern fit.
Yeah.
So like it just was like the most confusing.
That place struck me as weird. One thing I did like is that if you made an appointment, like you were in and out, right?
Yeah.
Opposed to like a men's warehouse, which it's just like you go there and it's just immediately anxiety. It's just
like Dan flashes.
It's she doesn't. have you seen there? Okay, so, great.
What the heck?
Oh, I didn't know. That's that's like a second season. I think you should leave.
Yeah.
And so it's cool, but the fact that you had to like be fitted like 2 months out.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you could have been fitted like 2 weeks out.
And that's what they said too. They said they discontinued it because literally if you gain 2 pounds, your size is off.
Well, then why don't we
I even asked him
like closer in?
I even asked him about that too. I was like, hey, I'm not, this might sound like a joke, but like, what do I do if like I lose like randomly 10 to 20 pounds before the wedding?
Is that important?
I was like, does that change? They were like, if you lose 4 pounds, come in and get me measured. And I was like,
4 pounds.
I was like, I can go home and take a shit right now
and lose 4
pounds.
And
lose 4 pounds. Yeah, no kidding.
And so, but I mean, that was, although it was a little bit tight as far as fitting wise. It was the best looking suit that I've ever worn. And
you guys looked fly as hell.
Yeah, I felt good. I think it might have been the best looking suit I've worn though.
That's the best looking I've ever
You know,
worn.
the
Yeah,
funniest thing about it is the skinniest, smallest man in that entire wedding party said the suit was too big on him.
Really? Nikki?
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, you guys are complaining that like you can't breathe in it, and Nikki Feth is like, how do I get this smaller?
Yeah. Well, he even brought his own shirt. You know that he wore his own dress shirt?
No, I didn't know that.
I was like, Nikki, if you bring up fucking dress shirts and ties again, I'm going to beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I just wish I could bring my own suit because like
he wanted to buy the suit.
Yeah. I was like, Nick, what is wrong with you? Stop bringing up the suit.
I feel like we're missing a big portion of this wedding that happened that we're just kind of
Pato. I have a story. You asked me about Pato.
Oh, yes.
And
Can we
and who all went? And you said, did Zach and Chelsea go?
pause that? Let me bring something up about Chelsea's brother very quickly.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
It's a real quick aside. I'll tell you guys how I heard this. I mean, there is clearly a commotion that has happened.
Yes.
People are frantic.
Yeah.
And I'm completely unaware. But there's many people going like, did you see what happened to Travis? And they were like, he broke his nose. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, he's in the bathroom right now. I go in the bathroom. There's like 30 people in there. And like Chelsea's in there. He's bleeding from his
The
face.
guy's bathroom?
Yeah. Helping him out. Our friend had your husband like grab him by the foot and try to project a backflip. Yes. Where he had two spotters, Tyler Voss and Adam Corpella, and the first try he almost gets it.
No, I think that he lands it.
He doesn't. There's the video. He almost gets it.
Okay.
Right? And they catch him. So then he's like, let's go again. And the videographer has this one.
My sister-in-law at that point said, I knew it was going to be bad when I looked at him, and he went and really grounded himself. She said, I had to look away.
He smacked his face so bad.
Like
on the I mean,
it looked like somebody dribbled his head.
We have it on slow motion of him hitting the ground. In the moment his nose hits, I mean, it's just blood comes out of it.
You see his head lift up, and like he's like laughing, and as he turns to look at T-Voss, you just see like snot of blood come out of him.
Oh, no.
And what's great is that he's perfectly in frame.
So where were you when you heard this?
I was just walking back to the dance floor. I had no idea. Okay. I didn't see it at all. I didn't know it. And so I was like, I got to see this video. We go up to the videographer, which I'm guessing he had been playing it for a while. He's putting his stuff away. He's done for the day. He's going home.
Yeah.
I'm with
he was like, that's enough of that.
I'm with Tyler Voss, and I was like, come on, give it here. And he's like, okay. He brings it out, see the video, and just in the background, eyes wide, smile on his face, arms open, Tyler Voss, ready to catch him. And this is completely he doesn't even react. He's just.
And he was in his head about it the whole night. And
he's just he missed him completely. I mean, he could have like saved the situation and did not.
I missed the whole thing because I forgot to bring this up. It was so funny because when the first dances ended, it felt like it was Lollapalooza, and they took down like the gates and just let everybody flood.
Rushing in.
Everybody flooded in, instantly start dancing. I go crazy, and I'm like going nuts. I realize it's very hot. I sweat through my vest and my suit coat because I hadn't taken it all off yet. I go to the bathroom after like 3 songs, and I'm just drying off because like I'm like
drenched in sweat.
People are going to come up to me and hug me.
Yeah,
I cannot be this fucking sweaty. So as I'm drying off, I just see him come in with his nose covered. I'm like, what the fuck happened to you? And then I get told that all happens. He goes outside for a long period of time, and he's like covering up, he's sitting getting some fresh air, sitting on the curb. And I forget who I'm talking to. I'm like, where is he even now? And it was a girl, and she goes, he's outside. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to see how he's doing. And then she was like, no, don't like crowd. He's getting crowded by everybody. You don't got to crowd him. And like, it's following. I was like, no, I'm good at this stuff. Hold on. And I walk over, I pull my finger out, point at him and I go, everybody laugh at this guy. He just fell on his fucking face. I got like 4 people to point and laugh at him, all while he's sitting just like this on a curb collar, like curled up.
End it with the Pato story, and then we'll do the closing thoughts of this.
So you had asked me, where did...
Yeah, so the night has ended.
Who all went to Pato?
I'm not going to Pato. My girlfriend's obliterated. She has to go home.
Yeah. After she had told me, I'm going to Pato.
She's completely blacked out. She has no idea where she is. So we have to go.
So you go, who all goes to Pato? He starts naming off people. He goes, Melissa. I go, yeah, Melissa and Ben were there. And then he goes, Zach and Chelsea. I go, they did. Funny story about that. He goes, oh, what happened? It's like, I got to save it for
I don't
the
know
podcast.
what this is.
So the entire time, Zach is like, and Jordan, they're like, we are craps masters. We're going to go there. We're going to dominate it.
Yeah,
craps.
we're running the table.
And I'm like, I have no idea how to play craps. Everybody's coming in, talking, giving their 2 cents about craps. Mm-hmm. It's a confusing game.
It very much. I've played it many times. I have no idea how to play it.
Not many people know how to play it. They are like, no, we're going to Pato. We're going to show you guys. And I'm like, fuck yeah, nice. I have to stop back here to grab my wallet, so I show up a little bit late. You guys were also a little bit late downstairs to the Pato. And by the time that we get there, I'm only like maybe 15, 20 minutes late. I end up going to the bathroom with Melissa. Walk past, I think, Tyler B. I go, hey, where's Zach, Chelsea, Jordan, and Ashley and all them? And he goes, they lost all their money on craps.
they lost everything.
They had to leave. They lost it all on craps.
Oh no!
They were like, he was like, they lost really big, and I was like, I came here to learn how to play craps from them. They left and lost all their money in that meantime.
They lost big.
They lost big, and I was just like, what the fuck? Then we proceeded to just stay at the bar. I didn't gamble at all. Your husband ended up winning $500.
Yeah, he won like $500. I lost like $100. I was so tired.
So you guys came up though.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys just played slots?
Yeah.
That's a net $400 positive.
I did. I am a blackjack fiend. I didn't play it because I had to go home. But
yeah.
Is there any closing thoughts that we have in this night? I thought overall the night was a piece of shit. I thought it didn't go well.
Well, the wedding was a sham.
I mean, it was just a bust.
Yeah. These 2 people didn't love each other. So like, how can you actually support it?
They got married by a fraud.
Yeah.
I actually was crossing my fingers up the whole time, so it didn't count.
Take it back.
Sorry, gotcha.
You actually shredded our
null and void
certificate.
Well, it was kind of bullshit that they didn't have objections in there. So like,
I know I was
no, because my brother's friend Anthony wanted to object so that he could carry on the Sokolowski name. So I was happy that there wasn't.
Well, I also
I could have wrote that in.
I proposed that every groomsman got a chance to kiss you after Tyler, so that way you knew that you were making the right choice. So it would have gone in order: me, and then Michael, your brother, and then Brandon, and it would have been good. And then both of Tyler's brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have actually known if you actually loved Tyler. One. What the heck?
I really thought it went about as well as it could have. I don't think.
I literally have 0 complaints.
Yeah, I mean, people got hammered.
And like the chaotic shit that happened, like just made it hilarious.
Yes,
like
I would agree.
I literally was like, it was
pretty
a good
well.
wedding when by maybe 8 o'clock someone was violently puking in the girl's bathroom and Travis broke his nose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
doesn't
Shelby said someone was violently puking at 7:30. I was like, nice.
It's a common thing with our group, but I mean, as soon as they're like, all right, the dance floor's open, we just fucking hit it as quick as possible.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And I think my headset just turned off, so this is probably going to end it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So, all right, we're out. We didn't even mention
congratulations.
Ryan.
No, but who cares? Who cares about that clown?